and I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
Good evening and welcome to the Health and Wellness Show here on COARadio.com. I am your show host, Maryann Castello, and we have such a special show tonight, and I am surrounded by royalty. And we will get to our special guest in a few minutes, but we do have actor, musician, entertainer, and CEO of Tony Luke.
Who's here? Oh,
yes, that will be Tony Luke Jr. Oh! And we will also have one of the original creators of the sound of Asbury Park, Vini Maddog Lopez. And we will be with them in just a few minutes. And first of all, I'd like to thank our sponsors who make this show possible. And that is Zowie Health and Wellness Center in Cranford, New Jersey. Ryche Chlanda and Flying Dreams.
Thank you.
The Recovery Spot, New York. Lifeline Chiropractic, and City of Angels. City of Angels is conquering our addictions. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, help is available. You can call 609-910-4942 or visit them on the web at www.cityofangels.org. Make sure you click the donation tab, enter any denomination, and if you put in that it's for the Health and Wellness Show, your donation, we will make you an official sponsor of the show for 30 days. So without further ado, because I am so excited, we've been in the studio, they've helped open up the show. Again, I'd like to bring forward actor, musician, entertainer, and CEO of Tony Luke's The Real Taste of South Philly, international sandwich destination too, founder of #BROWNANDWHITE initiative to end the stigma of heroin addiction. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Tony Luke Jr.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, one of the original creators of the sound of Asbury Park. Vini Maddog Lopez was the original drummer for Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band. His unique style on albums such as Greetings from Asbury Park and The Wild, The Innocent, and the E Street Shuffle has influenced generations of musicians around the world. And in the beginning, there was Maddog Lopez. That's what we've heard. Ladies and gentlemen, also welcome Vini Maddog Lopez.
Thank you very much. Vini.
Thank you.
My pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And we do have our musical director who's joining in on all the fun and making this all happen. Oh. And this is Ryche Chlanda, Flying Dreams.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And of course,
Alan.
That's right. None of this could be possible without our engineer, Art Ackerman.
Artie!
And we do have our studio audience of Dawn, Gary, and Sue. So welcome.
Gary, Dawn.
Nice. Very nice.
And I have a special announcement before we go any further. And I was waiting for the show to share it with you guys. Is that on the way to the show, I was able to stop off at the post office. And the reason why I'm so excited and to share it for the first time.
They got Ryche's picture up there now?
No, actually they didn't. I stopped off because I'm very excited to introduce, and it's coming out on Friday, August 24th, my new CD, Extreme Chakra Cleansing for a Supercharged Life.
Wow.
And it was submitted today for Grammy consideration.
Wow.
And that's where I came from. We mailed it out, so I'm very excited. It was a project. With Ryche Chlanda.
I need my signed copy of that.
He's done all of the musical tracks. I wrote all the scripts and performed them, and I couldn't have done it without this guy here. Yeah. So I'm so excited to announce it for the very first time, and it will be available on Friday. You could either buy the CD, there's 1,000 limited copies of autographed version, or you can download them on bandcamp.com. So that will be this Friday, August 24th. So excited.
Awesome.
Looking
that
forward.
Is awesome.
Oh, I'm so excited.
That
I can't
is
tell you. So thank you for letting me announce that next to you guys. I feel like I'm in royalty tonight. I don't know what to do. So I have a question for you.
Yes.
Because I'm going to get right into the heart of it. Is that you have your shirt on. I see that you're wearing it for those listening on radio.
I am wearing my brown and white, hashtag
Yes.
brown and white shirt. Yes.
You've created hashtag brown and white with regards to heroin addiction. What are your hopes for creating this awareness so people can understand what this show is about?
Well, I have to tell you, hashtag brown and white was, founded by me and Sue and a couple other people who devoted a lot of time to it. But Sue is really she is the backbone of brown and white. None of this would be possible without the work that she does. And originally, Brown and White started out as a social media initiative where we were trying to help end the stigma by making people not afraid of the embarrassment or the shame of losing a loved one to the disease of addiction. So we had asked people to please go on social media, put a picture of your loved one up, give them their name, tell them that they were loved and that they're a human being and they're people that are suffering from an illness, and not to be ashamed, and use the hashtag brown and white, which again are the two primary colors of heroin, and get that started. And all of a sudden it kind of took off, and people were making these brown and white ribbons. This woman, this young woman who passed away, Toni Canali, her whole family made the ribbons and were giving them out. And she really also was a driving force in getting the awareness of brown and white out. But over the last year and a half, it has really morphed into something more than just a social media initiative. There was a lot I didn't understand what my son was going through. In a year and a half, I have really, really devoted almost every waking minute to really understand the disease of addiction, and it truly isn't a choice. It is, and I'm not saying this honestly. I'm not saying this because my son died. So I know that there's people who are listening going, oh, sure, he's saying it's not a choice and it's a disease because his son died. If my son was still living and I know what I know now, I would absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, explain that addiction is a mental health issue. It is not a physical one, and it is not a choice. And that there is a huge difference between someone who suffers from a drug problem and someone who is suffering from the disease of addiction. One is partying and getting high and overdoing it. Mm-hmm. The other one is self-medicating. They're numbing whatever's inside of them that they either don't want to face, don't know how to face. And unfortunately, and look, I think recovery homes and sober living homes, all of these are great. We're doing something, but the problem is the system seems to be set up for someone with a drug problem, not someone with a mental health issue. And I think that needs to change. And Brown and White, I become very vocal on this. And I want to preface this. I want to make this very, very clear for anyone that will be listening or will write and make a comment. No, I am not a psychologist. No, I am not a psychiatrist. Right. No, I am not a recovery specialist. No, I am not a recovery interventionist. I have no degree in behavioral science and health, none of those things. I'm a father who has enough common sense to truly look at this issue. And if you really look at addiction, there is a mental health common thread that goes across the board. And either we don't want to address that because maybe it's too much money to treat it, or we tend to think that it's easier just to continue to do what we're doing. And we're losing people at a rate that is absolutely ridiculous. If there was anything else in this country, if there was a virus, if there was a terrorist group, if there were serial killers, if there was a gang that were killing as many people per year that overdoses are doing in this country, the government would devote $80 billion to eradicate whatever that is. But they don't, because they believe, like most people believe, and it's sad, that addiction is a choice. So I don't put people down for thinking that. All I ask is, please, do the research. Understand that I've never met anyone who is suffering with addiction that didn't have mental health issues involved with that addiction. Not one. Nope. And what recovery centers tend to do is they're support groups, and they clean the body, which needs to be done. But then they just reinforce willpower. Someone says to me, well, I don't understand. If someone has been in recovery for 5 years, how could they relapse? You know, see, that's the point I'm making. They choose to relapse. No, they don't. Willpower will only last so long. That's why they put, you know, there's numbers to call. You have a sponsor to call. The whole system is set up to keep you from using through sheer willpower and speaking and talking. And believe me, my faith is incredibly strong. It's one of the few ways that I got through the loss of my son. But I'm going to tell you right now, God is amazing, and it is an amazing support group, but God does not cure mental health issues. He doesn't do that. So mental health is a code disorder. Addiction is a detox code disorder. So we need to get to the root of the issue. I met a gentleman, and I know I'm rambling, so forgive me, but I met a gentleman named John, and he said to me, Tony, I did whatever I needed to do to use. He said, I was in prison for a very long time. I was in one rehab after another. He said, and it wasn't until I met someone in prison that said to me, what's the issue? And he said, what do you mean? He's like, well, why are you using this? Well, what do you mean? Because, no. What is the underlying reason that you are using? He said, and like a light bulb, for some reason, it just went off. And I spoke to the prison therapist, and then I found out what it is that I literally was numbing. He said, and I learned how to cope with it without self-medicating. He said, I've never relapsed. Not only have I never relapsed, I've never even thought about using again, because I know how to cope. I know what the situation is. And every time I mention that, every time I say mental health issue, parents look at me and people look at me like, well, my son and daughter, they're not crazy. I'm not saying they're crazy. I'm saying that addiction is a mental health issue. It is not a choice. And, it is not being dependent upon a drug because, oh, well, I need the craving. I'm craving it. What you're doing is self-medicating. And that is the distinction between someone who likes to party too much and gets high a lot because they enjoy it and they have a problem with it, or someone who is self-medicating. And until this country understands that, because until they put programs together, do you realize that when you come out of a recovery center, they give you a certificate, and then you get a chip, which is beautiful. I'm not saying that it's not, but it's almost like, here's your certificate, you're better now. You're not. And the truth is, speaking with a bunch of people, going to meetings is amazing, and it strengthens the ability not to use. But if someone is so burying a problem so deeply, do you really think that in a group of 25 people, they're going to tell people what it is?
Or what happens when that person has a bad day, right?
That's the perfect storm. And then, or that you can't get your sponsor. And look, I mean this. Kudos, unbelievable, because the recovery centers help my son very much. And the faith-based help my son very much. But in the end, my son's issues were never dealt with. And when that perfect storm comes where there's no one to call and you're by yourself and you figure, you know what, I just want the pain to stop. Not the physical pain, the mental pain. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to be saved. He lost his life. And I have something, if you'll allow me to.
Yeah.
I have a very dear friend of mine. His name is Gary. And he came to visit me at the store, at my Sicklerville store. And he paced up and down outside, and I couldn't understand why. And he came over, and he said to me, can I talk to you? And I said, sure. He goes, I need help. He said, I've been using for over 20 years, and I watched you speak, and I don't know why, but I feel that you are the one person that I would be able, but I don't know why people trust people, or they do. So we had to get him into a rehab center, which was an absolute nightmare. Unless he wanted to kill himself, no one was touching him. But he has been in recovery now for quite a few months, And he sent me a text, and I asked permission to read it. And it just totally and completely reinforces what I'm saying. Here's what he sent me. Hi, Tony. Sorry I have not been in touch with you. I have been very depressed. You hit the nail on the head when you said I relapsed. Because I didn't pick up and use, but mentally I did relapse. Because I lost all that positivity and went into that black hole, like you said, and I'm trying to dig my way out. But I'm back to feeling all alone. It's almost like I'm using again because I feel so alone. And I thought getting sober would take that away. And it did for a minute. But now I don't know what to do or where to go because I don't want to pick up and use again. I would rather die than go back to that monster. But mentally, that monster is beating me. How do I win this battle? I just want to be a regular guy. I know I will always be a recovering addict. I beat using the drug, but the drug beat me mentally. It's like I don't know who I am. Now that screams to me a mental health issue that has nothing to do with the drug.
That's correct.
And that was never addressed in any of his recovery. Never. And not because they don't want to. There are no programs in place to do that. We have Doctors with Borders. We have doctors who volunteer at cancer centers. We're the psychiatrists and therapists, and I'm sure that there are some, but where are the programs where they're donating their time for one-on-one consultations to get to the bottom of this? It doesn't exist as far as I know. It may. I don't know of it.
You know, my daughter went. The first thing they wanted to do was put her on like antidepressants. You know, I mean, she wasn't there 15 minutes. It was a 15-minute conversation, no physical whatsoever, and she walked out of there with 3 prescriptions for antidepressants.
And that's why there are organizations like City of Angels that are trying to help people.
Luckily, she had me. I wasn't having that. You know, it just.
Do you know what the psychologist told Gary when he went to see him? Because they said you need therapy. It was a woman, and she literally said to him, well, you know what the problem is? You got to stop making bad choices. You need that because they have no concept of addiction related to mental health. They just don't know. It's not like they're mean or they don't know. They're not educated.
Right. They don't have that kind of real-time experience with people with addictions. You know what I mean? To counsel.
And just to get this started is that City of Angels is an organization that really helps many of the people, and they can help find you referral. There is help out there, and we need your support. We definitely need your support. So please mark your calendars for Saturday, in particular, September 15th at Mercer County Festival Grounds, West Windsor, New Jersey. It is the City of Angels 5K run walk, and the amenities, I love this, there's hydration stations on the course, post-race refreshments, T-shirts for pre-registrants, and testimonials from recoveries, and so much more. If you're worried about the course is relatively flat. It's USATF certified course through scenic park trails. It's paved, and it has large on-site free parking. And if you enter this race, there are awards to top male and female overall, top 3 finishers in each age group, and that's 14 and under, 15 to 19.
I qualify.
Yes, and then we go through all the decades, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 69, and 70 plus. That's where they stop.
So, Vini, you could get a medal. I can win.
And it is officially timed by CompuScore. Now, on-site registration is 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Now, the walkers, because you could walk if you can't run, start at 9:30. The runners start at 10 a.m. There's entry fees. It's $25 advance registration or $30 race day registration. So register now at www.walkwiththeangels.com and become a pre-registrant. Do something good. And if you can't run or you can't walk, you could still go there and donate. So thank you so much. Right now, you are listening to the Health and Wellness Show with your host, Maryann Castello, on COARadio.com. And you'll be hearing these little official sponsors because we are here to promote tonight one of the best festivals that are going on for a 2-day event. And without further ado...
For free.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
And it's free.
Because when I say mark your calendars, September 14th and 15th, It's absolutely amazing. It's Rockfest. It is the return of Rockfest, and it is a free, yes, we said a free event to attend, and there's absolutely no admission fee. We have a $5 suggested donation to those interested in assisting City of Angels, continuing its mission on assisting those seeking recovery and educating and offering support to their families. And thank you in advance for your continued support. Now, Friday kicks off Rockfest, and that is on September 14th. It's 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And if you join us on Friday as we kick off Rockfest with a free community picnic honoring all our dedicated volunteers and community partners and sponsors, there'll be hot dogs, there'll be hamburgers, recovery, great music, a super 50-50, a daily 50-50, which I have the raffle tickets right here that can help support, and you have a kids area and so much more. So stay tuned as we're going to be adding more details as they become available, and there'll be live performances that night by the Jim Delray Band and Nikki Breyer. So again, that is Friday, September 14th, the kickoff of Rockfest from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And on Saturday, September 15th, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Yes, that's what I said. 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. After the walk. We continue Rockfest with a great lineup of music, a car show by Hot Rods Against Heroin, food trucks, recovery resources, kids area, the super 50-50, the daily 50-50, the bike raffles, and there's so much more. And there's something for the entire family, so you could come out, have an entertaining day, bring your blankets, your chairs, and enjoy a day of entertainment. And I have the lineup. And
we're going to have a lot of recovery resources available that day as well. So if you're looking for help, we will have help. You know what I mean? Available.
That's great.
Right
I didn't know that. That's
Absolutely. Great. And there's going to be performances by 2 p.m., Jim Gavin. 3 p.m., Patricia and the Soul Tier Motives Band. 4 p.m., our very own Ryche Chlanda and Flying Dreams. And 5 p.m., our headliner, sitting right next to me, the wonderful winos featuring Vini, Maddog, Lopez.
Winos all.
And at 6 p.m., we have AM Mafia. 7 p.m. is Unleashed. 8 p.m., Charles, Larita, and the Mischief. And 9 p.m., Soraya. So please bring your families, come out. It's for a great cause. If you need help and you don't know where to look, come out as well. There's so much for everyone, and most of all, to get you help that you need. Don't be ashamed. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what we're saying tonight. There is help, and you are not in this alone.
And we're celebrating recovery that
yes,
weekend.
We are.
Yes.
And so I have to bring this to our next question for Vini.
Uh-oh, what it is?
Well, you're playing in a band called the Wonderful Winos.
Yes.
I love that. And what genre of music do you play, and who are the members of the Wonderful Winos that will be there?
All right, well, we play, well, first of all, I have Gary Cavco on the guitar, and he's a member of the Blues Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Okay, so we do some blues.
All right.
Okay. Now, I'm Vini. And I'm in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So we do some rock and roll,
yes,
too.
that's fantastic.
Okay. And we do like a combination of like some cover stuff, but we do some original things in those genres, though. You know, I do some old songs by my old friend, Bruce Springsteen.
Yes.
Okay, we had a band called Steel Mill many years ago, and Bruce wrote all of the songs. Yes, that's it right there.
I hold this.
Wow.
You gave me your personal copy that day,
Yep.
and I still have it with me. Thank you.
But Bruce gave me permission to do the old Steel Mill song. So I asked him, I said, Bruce, what are you going to do with the Steel Mill? You know, he goes, I'm not doing anything with it, Vin, it's yours. Do whatever you want. So I said, you mean I can record it and sell it and that kind of stuff? He goes, I told you can do whatever you want. So I did it, and I made sure that when I did all of these tracks, there's 2 CDs in there, that it was copywritten in his name. It was never, any of this stuff was never copywritten.
Really? Wow.
You know, but now it is.
Wow.
You know, and we don't make any. I give these things away, you know, because I want people to hear the old music. But we go around and we play a whole bunch of it in the band. So people go, gee, I never heard that song. Who did that? And I say, Bruce. And they go, what? That doesn't sound like a Bruce Springsteen song. You're right. It was Vietnam. It was a whole different time. We did protest songs. We were a heavy rock band. We did jazz. We did blues. We did country music, you know, which I'm going to do a little bit of all of that in the show on Saturday.
On Rockfest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
that's
do
gonna be
some
great.
do some old steel mill, but
fantastic.
I also do a song before there was any Bruce Springsteen. Okay, there was a guy named Bill Chinnick, and he lived in Avon, New Jersey, and he was a singer-songwriter. That's what he did. Well, Danny Federici played in his band, I played in his band, and we went around the country doing original music. So the band eventually broke up. This is like 66 and 67. So the band broke up, but Danny and I still wanted to play together, Federici, you know. So we went out looking for guitar players and bass players and somebody who could write songs, because we didn't want to go do cover music in all the gin mills down the Jersey Shore.
Right.
We wanted to keep playing in the college gyms in the Midwest
Right.
and then go to Texas, and that's what we wanted to do. And we found Bruce, you know, and the
Wow.
first couple of words I ever said to Bruce was, "Hey, do you write any songs?" Now think about that
Yeah.
for a minute. How many songs has he written? You know? But the steel mill is very early versions, and we do, like I said, a wide variety of music, which we're going to try and sling at you in our 50-minute
Oh,
little
that's
set.
great. Great. It's going to be great.
You know, and it's fun, and we all sing and have fun. John Bryce plays the bass,
It's a blast.
okay, and we
man.
have Frank the Flash on the saxophone.
Frank the Flash.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
When he kicks in, watch it.
He was unbelievable.
I'm sure it's great. Yeah.
It
We
was
have
really
fun.
good.
Oh, yeah, you saw us at the Nottingham
Yes,
Tavern. over there.
and from the first note, I was excited for Rockfest.
Well, you give,
Oh,
you,
yeah.
yeah, but now you saw me just on my snare drum.
I would love to see you behind a full set of drums.
Well, we're going to get to do that at Rockfest.
Yes.
yes, you
Yes,
will.
you
I'm
will.
going
I'll
to make
be
sure
on
that
a-
happens.
They're not giving me any cymbals, though, but I'll have a drum set.
Well, that will be Saturday, September 15th,
Oh, we're looking forward to
and
it.
you'll be on at 5 p.m. So
Yes,
we're
we
so
will.
excited. And I have
Let me interrupt 1 second. I think before Vinny and after me, Tony is going to do
That's right.
that too.
I'm gonna do a couple tracks. Yeah, one that I wrote for my son who passed, and then we're gonna do the track from the video,
Yep.
which I can't believe the response from the music video has been unbelievable, and then we're gonna all get together and jam on an old
Yeah.
Bill Withers track
Yep.
that I know you're gonna love.
Yeah. Well, you just released a new music video called Make You Feel My Love. What inspired you to do this video, and what do you want to accomplish with this video that you
That's a
put
great
out?
question. What made me decide to do the video? I didn't understand addiction like I do now, and I tried to relate to my son, but like every single other person, I believed it was a choice as well, because I stopped, but I didn't realize the distinction between a problem and an addiction. And it haunts me to this day. Now, would my son be alive if I understood it more? I don't know, but I know I would have been a better dad to him, and I really regret that. So when I heard Bob Dylan's song, Make You Feel My Love, I thought it was a way for me to apologize to him. And just say, this is what I wish I could have done for you
Right.
while you were here. So I have a little studio in my house, and I recorded it with an amazing gentleman named Dan Morrow, who did all the arrangements, and he played all the instruments, and I did the vocals, and I released it on iTunes so that anyone that would download it, any money that was made, and I mean any money other than the money they take to give Bob Dylan, would go towards help using it for social media for awareness. And I was talking to Sue, and Sue was like, we need to do a video. You need to do a video. And I said, well, I don't want to do a music video. And, I thought about it, and we talked it over, and I thought, I want to do a video that I pray helps humanize the disease of addiction, and showing all the different people from all the different walks of life, and that not only is recovery possible, but recovery does work. And we do lose people every day, and I wanted parents to know that, no, you know, you get frustrated, and your frustration is because you feel helpless and you don't know what to do. You get angry. So that helplessness turns to frustration, that turns to anger, and you don't know what to do. And I thought, I want to put a music video together where I walk into this big warehouse and there's a piano, and I sit at the piano, and I put a picture up of my son, and it's me singing to him. And instead of it staying on me, it goes to all these people that have shared in the grief and shared in the struggle, and they're singing to their loved one or someone that they've lost. And then it's almost like they feel the pain coming from this lonely dad who's singing to his son. And they all walk into the warehouse and they all gather around him because we're all united in the struggle and we all share in this grief. And there's a really good ending where my son Joey hugs his mom, and we dedicated it to my son, but to all those that are struggling with addiction. And we put it up. And I have to be honest, I could not believe the response that we were getting from. I mean, people didn't just say, hey, we really like this video. People were so moved by it. And those that, you know, are in recovery said, finally, I got one kid in general said, my mother never understood me. And I played her this video, and she cried, and she hugged me, and she said, I understand. And that was the whole point, to humanize this disease, to recognize it as such. And the video just, it embraced that. And it was shot by a gentleman named Bob Sweeney, who I think did such a phenomenal job capturing the emotion of that day. And it has now literally been shared and shared and shared and shared and shared. And I even got calls from Los Angeles from people from recovery centers and schools that said, is it okay for me to play the video in the center? Is it okay for me? Because sometimes those struggling with addiction are so far into the disease that they don't realize. I actually had another gentleman come up to me and said, I never looked at it from my parents' point of view. I never saw the pain that they were going through, because people don't realize that when your loved one is going through active addiction, so are you. When they're in recovery, so are you.
It's a family.
The only problem is you're helpless, you know, and the video, it's doing what I had prayed that it would do. And it is, I have people telling me that, you know, I didn't look at addiction like that before. And and it's just my one small way to let people know that, and I said this over and over again, those struggling with the disease of addiction, they are not good people, they are not bad people trying to be good. They are people who are ill that are trying to get well. Right. And until we understand that, nothing will change.
Right.
I'll tell you, we see these kids all the time. You know, when we get them, they're, you know, just that. They're broken, just like we're all broken at some point in time. But they come back with vibrancy. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to go. Like my daughter, we called her Reagan. You know, through her active addiction.
Right.
She is not like that now. I mean, you know, it's like your eyes get cleared up, and
Well,
they come back, and you know, life is like new to them. I mean, their birthday starts on their recovery day.
Exactly.
Yes, actually with Gary is the same thing. I said, your birthday now is March 3rd, because that was the first day that I had brought him in. And, you know, he always feels guilty sometimes. He says to me, you know, I feel guilty that your son is not here. And what I try to tell him is, my son did not die for nothing. He didn't. And every time I see someone like Gary understand and come through it, it honors my son. And it you know, one gentleman wrote in Facebook, he said, I want to give a shout out to Anthony Lucidonio III. He said, he is no longer with us, but because of his passing, Brown and White has created a platform that is helping a lot of people. And I say, if it's one person, I don't have to help with it. I don't care if no one knows my name, as long as they know Brown and White and they know what it is. There's no president of Brown and White. I didn't trademark the name Brown and White. I don't own Brown and White. It's not mine. It's yours. It's any family that wants to get involved in it. It has nothing to do with me.
And that's what we did. We tied Brown and White into our theme for our run last
Right.
year. Yeah, yeah.
Well, which I was I cried
With all the
when I saw
shirts.
I walked up and there were these, it was the run, and everyone was wearing a brown and white shirt for City of Angels, and I literally broke down and
with the
cried.
hand.
we
Stop
With the
it.
hand,
Stop
stop.
the stigma.
I have the T-shirt. I wear it all the time.
Yep.
Well, I'd love to
I
take.
had
a-
mine in my hand tonight.
I'd love to take a moment, everybody that could see the video, but acoustically, right here live on there for the listeners that are here with City of Angels and live.
You know what
if
we're
could
gonna do?
An acoustic version of "Make You Feel My Love."
And then we're going to add the video to the end of this YouTube
Oh, that's
tonight,
great.
Okay.
so that it will be available.
That would be wonderful, but I'd love to. Are you up for that, Tony?
Sure. My throat's a little from speaking.
That's okay.
I'm going to try to get a little water.
Well, we have a little help here. We have Ryche
Sorry,
Chlanda, who's going to be playing his 12-string
We like
Taylor
that Joe
guitar.
Cocker feel, man.
And we also
We like
have
that Joe
Vini
Cocker.
Lopez here. So we're all here for support of you. And if you could take a moment and share this.
Yeah,
with
I would
everybody.
be honored.
Thank you.
Yes.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I can offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, there is no one there to dry your tears. Well, I can hold you for 1,000,000 years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I could never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. There's no doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue, I'd go crawling down the avenue. There is nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. The storms are raging on a rolling sea, on the highway of regret. The winds of change are blowing wild and free, but you ain't seen nothing like me yet. I could make you happy, make your dreams come true. There is nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of the earth for you to make you feel my love. To make you feel my love. To make you feel my love. Feel my love.
Wow. Absolutely fantastic, gentlemen.
Great job, Tony. Sounds good.
Great job.
Absolutely beautiful. And, it's a great feeling song for people, not just for the families and everything like that. And thank you.
I
so
pray
much
one of
for
the
doing
best
that.
things I heard was a woman said that she was so happy because of everything that Bob Dylan stood for. She said, I'm so happy that you've taken that song and now made it stand for something that we know he would, you made it stand for something new, and you made it stand for addiction and all those that are struggling, that have died. And I just thought that was such an honor. It was such an honor to have that woman say that.
Oh yeah, it's true too. It's wonderful. The video is wonderful. Your voice on it's great.
Yep, and Tony agreed
the
that
whole thing's great, man.
we can use that song for the balloon release at the Candlelit Vigil.
All right. Thank you.
At
Yeah,
Rockfest
no, I'm
on
honored.
Saturday night. So make sure you come out and join us.
Absolutely. And I
A lot
just
going on Saturday.
yes,
I can't wait for Sunday.
just want to
Again and again.
give a shout out to one of our sponsors, the Recovery Spot New York, innovating recovery with cutting-edge addiction treatment and outpatient recovery for drugs and alcohol, offering state-of-the-art medical approaches combined with personalized treatment. They are physician-owned and operated. The Recovery Spot, offering new hope of recovery for those suffering from pain and addiction. You could visit them on the web at www.recoveryspotny.com, or you can call them at 866-677-6869. So getting back to here, I have a question for you.
For me.
Yes, for you, Vinny.
Okay.
In 2014, you said that you were inducted to the Hall of Fame induction, part of the E Street Bands, right?
Yes.
And it was, from my understanding, it was there that Bruce Springsteen said, in the beginning, there was Maddog Lopez. Did that have a special meaning to you? Like, how did that make you feel when he said, hey, you're Vinny Maddog Lopez, and you were in the beginning?
Well, see, in the beginning, like when I started playing drums,
Uh-huh.
I didn't know Bruce or anybody like that. And through playing, my friend Buzzy Lubinsky played drums along with records. He was the very first DJ that you ever saw. He had his headphones. He had 2 record players, his drums. He had them queued up. The music never stopped. He never missed a beat. And I got a job, and I started playing with him. But through him, I met Bill Chinnick, singer-songwriter.
Right.
I couldn't play the drums, but I certainly got to play with these guys, Sonny Ken. And eventually, as bands do, they're not together anymore. Well, like we had a band with Chinnick in 1967. I mean, we played all over the place. We played for the Electric Circus in New York City. We did a whole tour, 40-city tour
Wow.
in 1967, So the bands break up. So, like I said, Danny and I were looking for guitar players, guys who could write songs.
Right.
And when we found Bruce, that was the beginning. Because in 67, I met a guy who came from California, Carl Tinker West, who is still one of my best friends. He's 82 years old, and he was our first manager. But he said to me in 1967, he came from California. He knew Quicksilver Messenger Service. He's friends with Owsley. He's one of those guys. And he says, when you guys start doing original music, come and see me. So now all of a sudden, I went through with Billy, we did original music. But then when I met Bruce, we needed some help. And we went to Tinker. And he had a surfboard factory, giant building. He let us rehearse there. He built us a PA. He had the truck and the car that we traveled around the country in. We did it all without a record company in those days. And that was the beginning. When I said to Bruce, hey, meet us at the upstage. Me and Danny are going to be down there. Come and jam with us. And let's see if we can
Wow.
make a band.
And from there,
And we made a band.
you made a band. You made a band.
You made a band, all right.
We made a band,
And,
But it wasn't, in those days, it wasn't Bruce Springsteen. It was Steel Mill. We were a band.
Right.
And like today, like in our little band, the Wonderful Winos. It's about all of us.
Right.
That's how we treat it. We're no egos. We don't need any egos.
No.
Let's just play music and have fun for the right reasons,
Well, now, because you were inducted, am I correct that you're an ambassador of the Rock Hall now as
I'm
well?
an ambassador.
Wow.
Wherever
Yes.
I go,
Very
I
nice.
talk
Wow.
about
Yes.
that, Honored. I'm honored. I mean, pretty soon, they got a hologram of Alice Cooper in there. I said, I want one of them.
Aw.
But he invites you to sing and stuff. So, but the Rock Hall is really been a change in my life. It makes it happy for me to do things. I don't have to worry about playing.
Right.
I can go and have fun with a whole bunch of different people. It's like the old days because I get to play with a whole bunch of different people, not the
Right.
same guys all the time.
Now, is it true that Clive Davis gave you the name Mad Dog? Is that where that originated from, or is that your
Well,
nickname?
yeah,
Or
no, that's true. After Steel Mill went its way, because Bruce came up to me and he says, "I'm going to stop Steel Mill," and he must have saw Van Morrison. Is the only thing I could see, because he had girls and horn players and stuff in the band. So Bruce came. "I'm going to stop it. We're going to go in a different direction. I want you to play, drums in the band, And I forgot what we were talking about. We were talking about
Clive Davis.
Clive Davis. But anyway, in the interim, we didn't have a band. We were still making the Bruce Springsteen band. So we made a band called Dr. Zoom and the Sonic Boom. Okay? So Dr. Zoom and the Sonic Boom was everybody that we knew. We had 2 bass players, 2 drummers, 2 guitar players. We had and then we'd go wherever. We'd play 3 gigs, but we'd get the people from the audience and say, "You want to be in the chorus?" And we'd get 20 of them, bring them up on stage.
I love that.
Everybody would make $5, but we all had to have nicknames. So John Lyon, he became Southside Johnny.
Ah.
Okay? Steve Van Zandt, he became Miami Steve Van Zandt. Bruce was Dr. Zoom. Gary Talent, bass player, he was Chicken Legs. I was Mad Man in Dr. Zoom and the Sonic Boom.
Gotcha.
I had 360-degree hair. Okay. So, but they called me Madman, and I could show you a picture of me and that Muppet guy, and we kind of look alike. So, but now that all ends. We do the Bruce Springsteen band. It was a flop. Nothing really happened with it. The band went its way. Bruce went on his own, and he got a record deal with CBS. Clive Davis was the president of CBS, and we became the band. Now all of a sudden we're out on tour promoting an album.
Wow.
And we were in LA, and we're playing at the Whiskey A Go Go.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We had a show opening this show for these other bands, and we played our set. And when I got done, prior to that, all my clothes were robbed. I had all my clothes in our Volkswagen that we drove around in a duffel bag, and somebody robbed my duffel bag. So I had to go to the Salvation Army. Me and Gary Talent went, and we got me a new wardrobe. And it was a jockey silk and baseball pants and some crummy socks, and I had this bowler. So I got off the stage, and Clive Davis was standing there. He goes, "Vinny, come here." He goes, "Didn't look at you. You look like a circus." I said, "Yeah, well, that's how I feel sometimes, He goes, "Didn't you all have nicknames?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "What was yours?" I said, "Well, I was Madman." He goes, "Not anymore. You're Mad Dog." And
Wow.
I went like, "Oh, geez, thanks, Clive. I'm 20 years old. Somebody's going to try and kill me. I'm Mad Dog," and they did. So, but that's the story of that.
Wow.
Now I know.
Wow.
That I always
So-
wanted to know why.
Yeah.
Well, that's really good. Thank you. And you know what? I think we're ready for another tune of all of us together. Because,
What will we do?
I don't know. How about Ain't No Sunshine?
That sounds good.
Ain't No Sunshine?
All right, I think
Sound
we can
good?
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can too, gentlemen.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
I think we're
Okay,
ready.
Here we go. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. And this house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. I wonder this time where she's gone. I wonder if she's gonna stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and this house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. And I know, 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 I know. Hey, I don't leave a young thing alone. There ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. And this house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away.
Yeah.
Wow. You're singing, man.
See, you get people in a
Vinny-
room. they
Vinny's
can
singing
jam.
too.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
And with that, Walk with the Angels and Rockfest 2018 is raising awareness and giving hope. And we need your help. The City of Angels has helped hundreds of addicted community members for over a decade. Like never before, the call for help is at an all-time high. More and more people we know are addicted to opiates and other drugs. City of Angels have trained hundreds of recovery coaches, helping hundreds of people. Your donation is needed more than ever before, and your sponsorship will be noted throughout the event. And there's different levels of sponsorships. There is a platinum sponsor, and if you donate $10,000, you'll have the largest signage around the festival at the entrance, at our City of Angels tent, at your sponsorship announced every hour during the festival, and name of our sponsors on the board. Now, the festival sponsor is $5,000. You'll have large signage with your company name at strategic locations, the City of Angels tent, and our sponsor board, and your name announced every 3 hours. For a stage sponsor, it's $3,000. It's a medium signage with your company name on our sponsor board and our City of Angels tent, your name announced twice during that event. And there is a recovery sponsor for $1,000 where you'll have signage at our sponsor board. And if that is too much, we do have other sponsorships. There's an angel sponsor for $500, a cloud sponsor for $250, a living sponsor for $100, and a booster for $50. So show your support, become a sponsor of this recovery-based walk, run, and rock fest being presented by City of Angels. We're looking for community partners to sponsor this community-based event and expose themselves to an array of opportunities to introduce our support, your current and potential customers. If you're interested in learning more, please email info@cityofangelsnj.org. And we'll have more announcements about Rockfest. But gentlemen, thank you for coming together in this room, making it possible, and giving a sample acoustically. Thank you, Rich, for playing.
Yeah, man.
And getting
it's all
this all
good. Yeah, these
together.
guys are great. Thank
They
you.
are
Thanks for the
fantastic.
opportunity.
It was an honor, gentlemen.
That's
Truly,
an awesome,
an honor.
awesome version, man.
Yeah.
It really was.
I can't wait till Saturday.
I think none of us can wait till Saturday. And we do have another official.
Friday.
It's all going to start, absolutely. And we have another sponsor of this health and wellness show, and that is Zowie Health and Wellness Center of Cranford, New Jersey. It's a very unique holistic wellness company recognizing the interconnection of body, mind, spirit, and the importance of creating complete wellness in a nurturing and comforting environment. Zowie, creating new health through balanced living using nutrition, massage, and so much more. You can visit them on the web at www.neozoe, that's NEOSZOE.com, or by calling them at 732-713-0123. So, I did some research on you.
On who?
On you.
Rich?
No, you tell me.
Maddog?
And I found out
Art?
No.
No, it's you.
It's
that
you.
it's you.
It's the bald guy.
That you were a drama major and a music minor at the High School for Creative and Performing Arts.
I was one of the original graduating, the first graduating class.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
They call us the OGs. No, actually, they call us. No, that's what the gangs call. No, they call us the originals. Actually, the kids today refer to us as the originals. We were the very first.
Wow.
I auditioned, got picked, and we were the very first graduating class. And it has always been very near and dear to my heart to be able to say that out of the High School of Creative and Performing Arts, we were the first graduating
Oh,
class.
wow, that's
Now,
great.
did you
Wow.
perform in local theaters being part of that, or?
Actually, I was thrown out of school and was working, and I was told, you just want to be an actor, singer, go audition for this school. It's supposed to be, and I didn't think I'd get in, and I did get in, and I did plays, I did theater, musicals. I really enjoyed. I had dance too as a minor, which I enjoyed as well. Like I always loved the arts. I love drawing, I love painting, I love singing, I love writing. I always did from a kid. I always knew from as young as I can remember that I knew I wanted to be some type of entertainer or performer. I just wanted to. I felt very connected to music, especially. That is my favorite thing in the universe. So. But yes, and it's amazing because there have been a lot of amazing people that have graduated from that school.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Boys to Men, Questlove, they've all come out of Kappa.
Well, that's wonderful. And I realize, because you're very humble about it, but you've starred in quite a few movies. And I know that you had your own movie called The Nail, which I watched, by the way.
I watched
it.
that too.
Thank
And
Great movie.
that was the story of Joey Nardone, which you were the 2009 winner of the Audience Award for the Best Feature Film at the Philadelphia Film Festival for that.
Yeah, I was proud. It actually went to the number 6th most watched movie on cable, which was Showtime and Cinemax back then as well. And I'm very proud of it. It was kind of loosely based off of my dad, who would have been the little boy. It was very near and dear to my heart. Everyone that was in it, Leo Rossi, William Forsythe, Tony Danza, Dinar Torres, it was Billy Gallo, and Paul Aranthio played the young boy. And it was an amazing cast. And we shot the entire film in 18 days.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
With an incredibly low budget. And not only did we make the money back from the film, but the film actually made a profit, which was pretty amazing. And it is still today a cult. It is a cult film, but it's very much a Latin cult film.
Okay.
Wow.
Because the story is based around Jesus, who is Latino. So we had a huge Latino following, and Dinar Torres does an amazing job in the film. And the boy is incredible.
And a very shocking ending. Very, very shocking to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I try to be very real, and it's a movie where, you have a bunch of tissue with you, and I know we're short on time, but I just want to say real quick, one of my favorite stories was I actually got a phone call one evening from Will Smith, who said he had just watched the film and he got my number from his dad, and he said, I just wanted to call you to tell you that I was so incredibly moved by the film, and I just thought that was one of the highlights for me making that film. And there were a lot of good people that believed in the story and put it out, and I feel very blessed to have been able to do that. And Skip Denenberg, who I think is a brilliant songwriter,
Great.
is an amazing guy, and he a lot of his songs are on the soundtrack.
Right. Now, if people wanted to see The Nail, where can they find it now?
It's actually easy because I convinced 20th Century Fox owns actually the film, and Artist View owns it in the States. So if they want to watch the film, and I really suggest that you do it, it's really a good story. They can go on their computer. They can download it for free or stream it for free, and the website is very easy. It is thenailthemovie.com.
Perfect. And then you were also in the
That's
movie
easy.
Invincible.
I was, and it's funny that small 5-minute role, Invincible, became almost like the trademark of the film. It was my other favorite story is they were doing the Screen Actor Guild Award, and people are blowing up my phone. They're like, "Are you watching the Screen Actor Guild?" And I'm like, "No, I'm driving." And they were like, "Well, they just signaled you out as someone that has a small role in the film that becomes such an integral part." And they played it. They played the scenes on the Screen Actors Guild Awards like the year after that. And that was another thing when I told Will Smith, I'm like, it's different than Invincible. And he's like, Invincible, did you produce that? I'm like, no. I'm in it. He goes, I just watched you on the nail for 90 minutes. Invincible is one of my favorite movies. You weren't in it. I was like, yeah, but I was 400 pounds. And he was like, well, who'd you play? I swear to God, when I played the guy in the green, he went, not the guy in the green cape trying out for the team. He goes, you're one of my favorite characters. Because it's really the only comedy in the film. So that's why it sticks out.
You stole the show. And then you were also in 10th and Wolf with Dennis Hopper as well.
Dennis Hopper was such an amazing human being. There were lessons I learned from him in times that we spoke that we would need a 2-hour show. Giovanni Ribisi was amazing. Leo Rossi, who is literally family to me. Literally, he's my brother. He's an amazing human being, and he was integral in The Nail as well. And, there were just so many great people involved in that. And I learned a lot. It was a very important film for me as an actor. It was my first really big supporting role, even though it literally got cut down to an extra. But it was a huge supporting character. And I never understood. I remember going to the director, Bobby Moresco, who I love. He's a beautiful human being. I said, if I was no good, why did you hire me? Why did you literally cut me out of the entire film? And he goes, Tony, there was nothing wrong with your performance. He goes, the problem is the movie's set in Philadelphia. I go, yeah, I know. And he goes, you're the only one that sounds like you're from Philly. He said, so every scene that you're in, you make the other actors seem like they don't fit. He goes, and if I got to cut you or Dennis Hopper or Giovanni Ribisi, guess who's getting cut? And I'm like, oh, I get it. Okay, I get it now.
So you got it. And then to your most recent project with Gotti, with John Travolta.
I can never express to you, first of all, how much of an amazing human being John Travolta is. When I tell you he is literally the salt of the earth, he is the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful human beings I have ever had the pleasure to get to know and to talk to. And John Gotti Jr. is an amazing human being as well, and he's been through a lot. And to tell the story through his eyes about, his father. And again, agree or disagree with that lifestyle. I'm not judging it, but John is very much not in that. That is not John Jr. And, he's been amazing supporter of Brown and White. They did the premiere, one of the premieres in Long Island, and all of the proceeds went towards #Brown and White. It was amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, that's amazing. And you're very humble about it, and I think that I heard you talking at the City of Angels open house about the Gotti movie, and it was in select theaters at that time. And I know that the critics had a problem.
Oh, it got a 0.
But
so
the
that was
audience
awesome.
loved it.
Hey, look, it got a 0. No other film in history has ever gotten a 0. Hey, setting a record is a record no matter
Right,
which side
exactly.
it's on.
And you know what? But the audience and people that I've
No
known
such
that
thing as
have
bad
seen
publicity.
it have actually loved the movie.
No,
So
it's a very good movie.
it really
I think
is.
there was a lot of ulterior motives involved in the rating of that film. But, who am I to judge? I don't judge.
When the critics don't like it, I have to go see it.
Well, I have a question for Vini here on this special note. Since
Another
we're talking
one?
about movies, yes. I was present when you were having a conversation about a drum kit.
A drum kit.
A drum kit. And that's when you mentioned you only bring your snare drum. And when asked how it would be heard, you said, don't worry, you'll hear me, don't worry about it. So what's your trick?
Well,
Just without a kit.
my trick is simply this. Like, if you ask me to come and play with you, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to bring my whole drum set with me. I'm just going to bring my snare, and I have my little
Yep.
kick. That's a tambourine. And I got my vocal mic. So I started doing this a few years ago now. But now I've been 4 years in a row going to Europe with the Light of Day, which is another organization for Parkinson's disease.
Oh, wow.
So we do a European tour starting on Thanksgiving every year. And we do 10 countries, 17 venues in 19 days.
Wow.
That's what our tour is. But they just have a snare for me. And it's all guitar player, singer-songwriters, 5 of them. They set me in the middle, and everybody does their own song. Now, prior to me being on this tour, they would have the guitar player, and now that guitar player over there is playing, and all the rest of them are sitting there. Now it'd be this guy's turn, and now they all sit there while this guy's playing. Well, see, I changed all of that because now you got me, and I'm not going to just sit there while you're playing. Because even if I don't play that drum, I still sing with you.
Right.
You know, for instance, we were in Germany, and there was a fellow from Amsterdam singing, Erwin. And he says, Vinny, I want you to play drum in this song, but I'm going to sing it in Dutch. I said, okay. So we started playing the song. Now he's singing it in Dutch. So it went around once, and I heard what he was singing, and I knew where the hook was. So I mimicked him and started singing with him. And we got done the song, got done the night. He comes in and goes, I didn't know you spoke Dutch. I said, I don't speak Dutch. But I can mimic, and I play along with them all. It's amazing. I play with so many great different players, you know, and all over the world.
Yeah, I bet.
And it just keeps growing and
What a
growing.
blessing
And then
that
we
is,
bring it
really.
to Asbury Park in January for the big culmination shows, you know. And I do them all.
Yes.
And it's just so much fun. And for me, the most fun is singing along with the stuff.
Well,
but go ahead.
No, I got to jump in. That's how we met.
Yes, it was.
I'm singing a song at the open house in City of Angels, and I hear a harmony behind me
Yeah.
and coming closer, and it was Vinny singing
And
harmony.
Me
That's how we
coming
met.
up. But see, I play that snare drum all over the place. And like when they said, hey, come and play at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We're having a show. I said, okay, just put us in a corner, because I'm imagining we're just going to play just like we do at the Nottingham Tavern. That's all we need, you know. We don't need anything. So I figured, just put us in the corner, let the big band be up on the big stage. But no, they gave me a drum set, and we were on the big stage, and you know. So, but I'm a different animal at that point when you give me a whole drum set.
Well, you're going to have a drum set on the 15th.
Yes, I am.
Yep.
So
I'm making sure that happens.
Animal will be there.
Yeah.
You know, I'll have him sitting next to me, you know, hair all out there. So, but that's the snare drum story, and that snare drum that I play, okay,
Right.
is the snare drum that I did all the albums with,
Oh, okay.
all the Greetings from Asbury Park and the Wild and the Innocent East Street Shuffle. That snare has survived.
Oh, that's great.
You know, so I play that everywhere. I don't take it to Europe with me because I just don't want to lose it.
Is it too heavy to carry?
No, it's too valuable to
Too
carry
valuable.
around. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame wants that snare drum, but I won't give it to them. When I croak,
You should will it to them, yes,
Dawn
without a
Dawn will
doubt.
give it up. It's up to Dawn over here, you know. But I figure I got 3 more 10-year periods before anything like that's going to happen.
Well, speaking of value, because you're talking about value, also at Rockfest and for City of Angels, we are calling all vendors to reserve your space today. So this year's Walk Run with the Angels 5K Rockfest will be offering vendor space again. Are you ready for this? At no charge, absolutely no charge for vendor space. Donations are welcome and sponsorships are available. This is a great way to connect with hundreds of prospective shoppers and clients. If you're interested in attending this year's Walk Run with the Angels and or Rockfest as a vendor, please contact info@cityofangelsnj.org. We are reaching out to local businesses and organizations looking to partner with us in our mission to assist those recovery from addiction. We have 600 to 800 visitors or more for Rockfest and participants to this event. This is a great way to connect with hundreds of prospective shoppers and clients. So there's your value along with your snare drum.
That's value.
I absolutely love it.
You know, that is terrific.
But I have a fun fact about you, Vinny.
Uh-oh.
I heard that you're a golf caddy.
Yeah, I've been caddying for a pro golfer for the last 30 years.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's pretty amazing.
it's a funny story, but like, you know, I met Mark McCormick, who I caddy for. I was like an assistant at Hollywood Country Club. He was an assistant pro at Deal. And he was a young guy then. I was an old fart then still. You know, So nothing much has changed. He's like 50 now, but he's still a young guy compared, you know. But Mark is he's a great golfer. He's gotten longer with equipment, and he's 10 yards longer than I remember. We've been in the U.S. Open. We've been in the U.S. Senior Open. We just missed getting into British Senior Open, you know. So we've won the State Open, and we tried to get in the U.S. Open 25 years in a row, and would miss by a stroke to get in, you know. But one time we made it in. But it keeps me young. Mm-hmm. You know, I went, and I'll prove it. When I play my drum or drums, okay. That's 9 miles, about 9-10 miles when I do a night.
Oh, I easily
So
believe that.
when I caddy, I walk 9 or 10 miles. So we do 3 days a week when I caddy for Mark, and then I play on the weekend. I walked a whole bunch of miles during that week.
Wow.
You know, so it adds up, and it keeps me young, kind of. I breathe.
Keeps you young, and at least you're not chasing a gopher.
I
Caddyshack
fell
with
in a
sticks of
gopher
diamonds.
hole once. I was coming off a green, and the gopher, I didn't see it, was in the tall grass, and I went down to my knee. I almost broke. I went all the way in the gopher hole up to my knee.
Wow.
And I went, and stopped. Gophers. Yeah.
Playing,
Bill Murray, you know, give me one of them. Bite the head off of that rabbit and throw it down.
You playing Bill Murray's
Sticks of dynamite too in your
tournament don't you?
pocket.
I play in Bill Murray's golf tournament. In fact, we're going down to play in another charity event called the Pro-Am Jam, which is with Mark, Brian, Hootie, and the Blowfish guys. And it's all about school buses and kids and safety. And Bill Murray plays in that tournament. All the NASCAR people playing. Danica plays in it. Michael Walter plays in this thing, you know. It's Denny and Mark's Pro-Am Jam. Denny is Denny Hamlin, you know, from NASCAR. And they do a great job, and that gets... It's a big concert, but then there's golf the next day. And it's just something that's so enjoyable to do, and it's, you know...
love it. I could see in your face. You
Yeah.
love it.
Oh, I do love it. I get to actually play. And then I do another thing with golf. I do it with the Boy Scouts. I do it with, for instance, Light of Day. They'll have a golf tournament. So they always say, Vinny, come to the golf tournament. We want you to play. We'll put you with this foursome. We want you to talk to everybody. So I go, oh, good. I'm with this foursome. I'm going to be with them for the next 5 hours. They're the only ones I'm going to be talking to. So I say, well, why don't you just put me on like a 125-yard par 3? I'll stay there all day. And every foursome that comes through, they got to beat me. It's called beat the drummer. So I hit a shot, and then if they get it inside my golf ball on the green, they win an extra raffle ticket. I gave away 5 raffle tickets the last time I did this. I'm stingy.
Aw.
I wonder who's playing slide guitar, and it's me.
Yeah,
Oh, it's you sliding in.
that's all right. I like that.
What is that?
Well, that goes right to my next sponsor of the show is Ryche Chlanda and Flying Dreams.
Ah.
They are a progressive rock band featuring world-renowned musicians Ryche Chlanda, Ron Beanstalk, who is actually an entertainment attorney, and Kendall Scott.
He's my attorney. So
Oh, I need one.
Yeah,
He's
but,
my turn.
but he charges me. You know, he's in the
He
band
still
and he
charges
charges
you?
me.
You want an attorney?
Yeah.
Kendall Scott, who's of Project Object, and Jay Didymo, who is formerly of Frank Zappa. So thank you so much. He's always on the shows with us, Rich, always doing something for helping us. And Rich, which
thank
is a
you,
fun
Mary.
fact
Thank
for him, and it's not so much fun, it's actually really serious, is that Rich and I both are recent graduates of the Recovery Coach programs
Oh, that
through
is
City
awesome.
of
Wonderful.
Angels. So
Thank
giving
you very
back.
much. That's
They were
Art.
very good students.
Yes, thank you. Art
Thank you.
did that with us, and he taught us, so we did that. And we took that course and the ethics course.
Yes, we did.
wow.
So to help everybody.
You're welcome.
But I have a fun fact about Tony here. Now I know that you're the CEO.
It's not true.
Tony Luke's, the
didn't
real
do it.
taste of South Philly, which is now an international sandwich destination. And I found that actually heard that you were on Throwdown with Bobby Flay.
I was, yes.
Now, I used to watch that show all the time, and a lot of people went, did you win the Throwdown Challenge, is the
I
question.
did, yeah.
You did?
Yes.
I love it.
Actually, Bobby is a really good man, and he's stayed a friend of mine for many years. And He's a good guy. I mean, I've met everyone I've met in the food industry has really been amazing. I mean, with the exception of, one, they were all amazing. Oh yeah, I would never. No, I would never. But no, they were really. He's a really good guy.
No, and he is, and he does all the gourmet cheeses and everything else. And that if you win the throwdown challenge, your cheesesteaks have to be phenomenal because he'll sit there and try to do all the gourmet stuff. And I'm a big fan of Bobby Flay, so I've watched him and done his thing. And for you to be able to beat that throwdown, I'm proud of you.
Well,
I am.
well, actually, if I didn't win, I probably wouldn't be here today because I would be killed. Because someone in South Philly would assassinate me if I would have lost to Bobby Flay for cheesesteaks.
For cheesesteaks.
So I lived another day.
Do you have a secret recipe?
His loss was my redemption.
Now, do you have a secret recipe?
No, the only thing, and look, I've never hit it. The only thing that I do different is, we cut our steak very thin and I cook it on a very low temperature.
Yep.
It takes longer to cook, but it is very, very juicy because it's cooking much slower. If you order a cheesesteak from me, it takes 4 minutes to get it. Because I just cook every single thing to order, and I cook it on a low temperature. And that on a thick steak, you want a high temperature because you want that crust. Because when people tell you need to sear it to keep the juices in, not true. So you sear it because you want the crust. It doesn't keep any juices in. So, but on a thin, and you also never salt a thin steak until it absolutely is ready to come off the grill because the salt will draw out the moisture and you wind up with a very dry cheesesteak.
Well, thank you. Now, you have a new YouTube show called Foodin' Around.
Yes, it's
and that's PHOODIN.
It is because it's around Philly and there's a guy named John Cole. He calls himself J. Cole. I met him and he's an incredibly talented, knowledgeable food person, especially when it comes to food trucks. And he's got a great personality for the camera. And I said, you want to do this show? And he's like, what's it about? I'm like, I don't know. He said, what do you mean? I'm like, because the first show will probably be okay, if even that. The second show will be better. The third show will be even better. The fourth show, you won't even recognize it from the format of the first 3 shows. And then by the 5th show, I'll know exactly what we're doing. So that's always how I work. And it's a lot of fun. And I do it from Dockside Condominiums, which is literally, I can't say enough. I've actually been honored to be an ambassador for Dockside. It really is. It's like living on vacation every single day that you go home. And they're amazing people, and we do it live from there. And we tweet it out. We put it out on Facebook, and we hope people look at it. We just did the Rim Cafe with a guy named Rene Cabretti, who was literally out of his mind in the best possible sense. And he makes the best, literally, I will challenge anyone to make a better hot chocolate than he does. Anywhere. I go to Renee's and have a choc off if you want. And I'm telling you, he will rip you. You have to watch the episode. It's all on YouTube, and he is just such a life force of a beautiful human being who loves life with every fiber of his being. His passion is amazing, and he loves people. And when you go there, you feel that love and that warmth. And he makes all his own chocolate and coffee, and he is just he's him and Belle, two of a kind.
I'm getting hungry just sitting here.
See?
Oh, it's true.
There you go. So that could be found on YouTube. So can the Bobby Flay challenge.
They play that. They play that all the time.
Now, I know you'll be at Rockfest on September 15th.
I can't
Do you
wait.
have any more upcoming events that you'll be at?
Sue handles that. She is. She literally texted me and goes, "Guess where you're going on Friday?"
Oh, I love it.
All right, okay, no problem.
Bookity road trip.
That's what I do. That's what I do to Rich.
Yeah,
It's the same thing.
Every time someone goes to me, he goes, "I'd like to talk to you." I go, "See the little short woman right there? That's who you go talk to."
Well, Vinny, I know that you'll be at Rockfest also at September 15th.
Looking so forward to it also.
And what engagements do you have coming up?
Well, we play every other Sunday at a place in Farmingdale called Woody's. Mm-hmm. Okay, we play from 4 to 7 there. And we do, just like you saw us at the Nottingham. And we're going to have some other gigs coming up at the Nottingham Tavern, too. I've been talking to her.
And how can they find anybody who's listening that wants to find where you're performing?
We don't really have a web page, but on Facebook we do have a Wonderful Winos page. Okay, and Gary puts out a bunch of stuff. But Gary Cavco, Gary C, we call him One Punch because he is a boxer.
Right.
And but he has his page, and I have my page, and between us we post the stuff just on our personal pages. You know, it's not like we have a
And in the
real
meantime,
web
you
page.
just came back from playing the Hall of Fame.
I just came back from Cleveland.
Yep.
You know, Dawn came with me, and the guys came out there, and our sax player, Frankie the Flash, he couldn't make it. He doesn't do road trips well. So the next best thing I could think of was my friend Eddie Mannion, E Street Band, works at Miami Steve now, you know. He lives in Pittsburgh. And Gary C., the guitar player, and Eddie, when they were kids, they had a band together.
Wow.
So I'm thinking, who could I get to fill in for? Boing. I'm going to call Eddie and see if he wants to do it. And Eddie Mannion was gracious enough to come out there, and we had a great time. And he never had any of our music, you know. He never heard us play
Right,
before,
right.
but he certainly fit in just like a glove.
I bet.
And one thing that happened out there while we were there, and this was something, Aretha died.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so Eddie came up, we're downstairs getting ready to go play. And he says, because in Europe, I've done a few of the Light of Day tours with Eddie. And we always did Amazing Grace. So what we did was we opened our show with Amazing Grace for Aretha.
Wow.
And now
Great. Wow.
it's had so many hits on like YouTube.
Right.
It's crazy, you know, but it was amazing.
No, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
But Eddie is so good at it, and we had a moment of silence before he started playing, you know. But it was all Eddie, because he's just terrific.
That's good. Well, that's
You know,
wonderful.
but
When
I-
are you writing the book?
Yeah.
We're working on that.
Because I'm telling you, and I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, you have an amazing, amazing, amazing life in music and in everything you've done. I mean, you look. We all have tragedies, and I know
Yep.
that, but we've all been blessed as well. And to be able to actually make a living, to be able to do what you love to do and create music and play for a lifetime is, to me, a priceless
I
gift.
have a fella, Ray Lombard, who is working with me, and mostly every Monday we get together and he quizzes me about things. But we're gradually getting things together. But there's so much. I mean, you go through different portions of my life, and you know, I mean, okay, there was golf, but there was also a whole 10-year period where I worked on a fishing boat. I was a mate on a boat, and we took people fishing every day. Some of them made it, and some of them didn't.
Aw.
It's going out on the ocean, but there's a lot, and we're trying to get it down. And the book is going to be called "The First Beat from E Street,"
Oh,
There you
that's
go.
a
That's a
great
good title.
because the very first place when I was a kid that I ever played the drums in front of any kind of a crowd was in a Methodist church on the corner of E Street and 13th Avenue in Belmar. We were rehearsing,
Wow.
and the minister came over and said, "Hey, I have a bunch of kids downstairs. Would you come entertain them?" We packed up our stuff from the garage and went over there and played
Wow.
for the kids.
See, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go on record saying right now that when they do your life story in a movie, I'm telling you, I am willing to drop 120 pounds, put a wig on, and play you.
There you go.
Yeah, you got the
love
stash.
it.
You got the dot. I like the dot.
Wow.
That's great.
But yeah, you got it.
All right, thank you.
I'm with you.
I don't think the producer will agree with me, but other than that, but I
And you heard
appreciate
that
that.
live.
Unless you're the producer.
Yeah, exactly.
Heard that live on the Health and Wellness Show on COARadio.com. And Rich, I know that you have some upcoming engagements.
I
Would you
do?
like to share them? Yes.
I do. How about if you share them for me?
Great. See? I'm his Sue. See that?
He's so humble.
He is. On September 4th, Ryche Chlanda will be playing Unplugged at the New Jersey Prague House at Roxy and Dukes in Dunellen, New Jersey.
Yes.
And then you will be at Rockfest on September 15th.
Yes.
You'll be a part of that. And then on October 4th, you will be playing the Sonic Voyage Festival at the Shrine in New York City.
Yes.
And then you will be playing the Prague Stock, which will be in Rahway at the Union County Performing Arts Center on October 6th.
Yes.
Boy, they keeping you out of trouble.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. So there's your calendar. You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm busy. Well, it's pretty cool stuff. It's good. A lot of festivals.
Well,
So
yeah,
that's good.
for everybody. And I just want to say, just near and dear, for all of you, Tony, Vinny, Richie, Art, everybody in this room, Dawn, Gary, Sue, everybody making this show possible tonight for City of Angels Rockfest. And for those of you at home, mark your calendars.
And Maryann, you did a great job.
Yes,
Thank you
always.
so much.
You did
Thank
great.
you.
Wow.
For,
Great show, Maryann.
Thank you. For Friday and Saturday, September 14th and 15th, it's the City of Angels Walk with the Angels, along with the return of Rockfest. It will be at the Mercer County Park, the Festival Grounds. Yes, there is a change in venue. It is the Festival Grounds at West Windsor, New Jersey. So mark your calendars, and details can be found at www.rockfestcoa.com. Well, that's about all the time we have. So for those of you who listen to the show, stay tuned at 10 o'clock on New Jersey's 101.5. That's FM, New Jersey's 101.5. You'll see us all again on the Steve Trevelise Show. Until next time, our next show is Wednesday, September 19th.
alright.
I'm Maryann Castello for the Health and Wellness here at COARadio.com. Good night.
It's all right.
Yes.
The stigma of addiction is as deadly as addiction itself.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I can offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, there is no one there to dry your tears. Well, I can hold you for 1,000,000 years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I could never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. There's no doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue. I'd go crawling down the avenue. There's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. The storms are raging on a rolling sea, on the highway of regret. The winds of change are blowing wild and free, but you ain't seen nothing like me yet. I could make you happy, make your dreams come true. There's nothing that I wouldn't do